It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Again, weekday mornings at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, a show with a positive message each and every morning as I talk to different business owners, entrepreneurs, political and community leaders about what it is that they are doing in the Tampa Bay and surrounding communities. So I invite you to tune in each and every weekday morning and take a break from all the political news and sports talk that dominates the radio each and every morning with a show about what is going on in your community. As always, I invite you over to my website, tampabayradio.com. Over there, all shows are available on demand. Also on the site, it's a great source for local real estate as I specialize in the sale of real estate, specifically bank-owned properties myself. Been in business 8 years or so with Coldwell Banker, operating out of the South Tampa area, but really I cover about 8 counties, so you'll find real estate all over the market, and also all of my pre-listed properties prior to hitting the marketplace via the pre-list properties tab on the home page. With bank-owned properties, they are assigned to listing agents weeks to months in advance of ever actually hitting the market. So only on my site at tampabayradio.com will you be able to see these properties and begin to conduct your due diligence and getting an offer in quickly, as the marketplace right now is very competitive. I talk a lot about that on my show. We need some inventory out there on the marketplace. And so to the sellers out there in the Tampa Bay area, I offer a free home valuation. If you're considering selling your home, please click on the Sell Your Home link on the homepage, and we'll get you over a free home valuation. And again, we need some inventory out there on the marketplace, a very competitive real estate market out there right now. And again, learn more about the show and the real estate offerings over at tampabayradio.com. Well, it's Monday. It's back to work, and I got another great week of guests lined up for you. On today's show, on the second part of the show, we'll be talking with Barry Carroll. He is a Google trusted photographer, and he's going to fill us all in about Google Plus and how this can really get your business on the front page of Google. And I was sitting here chatting with him before the show, and there's a lot of stuff I realized I didn't even know about Google Plus. So if you're a business owner, definitely want to stick around for that interview. It's going to be on the second half of this show. But up first, Ulrik Pedersen is the Chief Operating Officer for TARGIT, the Courage Company. TARGIT enables organizations and people to achieve collaborative empowerment and competitive advantage by making data easily accessible. The TARGIT philosophy triggers your courage to act by delivering transparent information that is useful and reliable, getting you from information to action fast. Ulrik, welcome to the show today.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Thank you for having me.
So first of all, we've got to clarify, Target with an I, not an E. I bet you a lot of times when people ask you what you do, and you say you work for Target, and the thoughts immediately go to the retailer, I'm assuming, correct?
Exactly. I still have people asking where they can find the DVDs and things like that, but can't help them there.
But this company originated overseas, correct?
It did, yes. It's out of Denmark.
Out of Denmark, and when the brand was formed, they probably didn't know the association in the States with the retailer Target, though, correct?
Exactly.
And you're here now to open the U.S. operations, correct?
Yes, I spearheaded it, started here in 2006 out of Tampa Bay, and been here ever since.
Okay, so tell the audience a little bit more about what Target does specifically.
So Target does business intelligence and analytics, and that's basically the art of pulling information out of all of your various IT systems and then giving the users the capability to analyze it and report on it.
Okay, so you're talking about like large enterprise-based systems. Then you go in and you have this software platform that you install on their systems, and then it basically pulls the information out of these different systems, correct? What type of systems do these work with? What type of operating systems or platforms?
Exactly. Well, a good example is Tommy Hilfiger was actually the very first client we got when I first moved over. So they pull from their point-of-sale systems. So basically every sale going through a cash register is being pulled up and into the system. They also pull from the inventory system back at the warehouse. And having all that information in one consolidated view gives you a lot of valid and valuable information. So if a product is moving in California, but it's not moving in Florida, you can figure out whether it's worth your while to actually ship the inventory to Florida, or to California, and sell it there, or you just need to mark it down.
That was quite a score for you to come into the United States and immediately score a contract with Tommy Hilfiger. I mean, that's a major clothing operation. So
it was. Yes.
And how has the software helped? I mean, Tommy Hilfiger is still with you today. Tell me how the software and your company has helped benefit their company.
It's definitely a success story. It was a very small install for us initially, but it's actually survived 3 different acquisitions and the change of central systems within the Tommy Hilfiger organization. So it helps them tremendously in their store sales and inventory management, so they can maximize the profit they get out of each collection. And
now, this product, I mean, you mentioned Tommy Hilfiger there to start with. Is this just for large companies, or can this program be utilized for the small business owner as well, who may not have these systems such as Oracle and some of the other systems that you were talking about? I mean, talk to me about its applications for other business owners.
It can be used for smaller businesses as well. I would say it's really when you start having maybe 20 employees that you start getting the benefit. That's when it becomes harder for you to get an overview of what's going on inside of your business, but also what's going on outside of your business that affects your business. Like,
now, you said the software can pull information from any type of system, but like Oracle, things like that, those are big enterprise-based systems. What about like the small business owner who may have just like Excel spreadsheets and different databases that they've pulled together? Can you create a system that can work with maybe some of these non-large systems like that?
We have, yes, and that's actually a fairly new initiative for us, that we have an engine where you just drag and drop your Excel spreadsheets in, and then our software will automatically make sense of it,
right,
and allow you to analyze it instead of having to use the formulas and fairly complex.
Yeah, because I find like a lot of small business owners are still, using like Excel spreadsheets, Outlook, databases, things like that, even Access databases, even although that's a much more difficult database program to utilize and understand. But so you can use these your programs to work with Excel. I mean, that's a huge benefit right there, because I know a lot of people working with that. I mean, so tell me a little bit more about that.
Exactly. So like you said yourself, the trend lately has really been that the business owners and the people that make their decisions, whether they are just part of a large organization, wants to be able to do these kind of analytics on their own without having to rely on IT. So making the software good enough that you can do those kind of disciplines is a big focus for us. So that is what we can do today, where you just drag and drop these different Excel spreadsheets or flat files in. And then what we haven't talked about so far that I think is extremely important is that now getting the external data in and analyze with internal data is becoming much more valuable.
Why is it important to be data driven, and how do we go around becoming more data driven in business?
And I think today everything is in data, in computers, unlike just a few years ago. So if you want to be able to see, for instance, how is the weather affecting my revenue if I'm a retail store, what kind of traffic do I get, that's information you can pull in by just hooking up weather.com as a data source. Twitter feeds, you're a social media person yourself. So seeing what is being talked about on Twitter, and how are you being mentioned in Twitter? How does that affect the number of listeners? How does it affect?
There's a lot of information to be ascertained from the social media networks. Can your platform be utilized, or is it utilized with social media platforms, pulling in the data from your followers and trying to pull the information from who's following you as to the effectiveness of your campaigns or your social media? Is that something that your platform does, or is that on the horizon?
It's something it does already today. It's still, I would say, the user adoption is still in its infancy, even though the software does it really well. But many companies and people are still trying to figure out, how do you use all these this information and social media analytics I can pull out.
Right. Now, you also work with a wine retailer. Tell me how your product works with this wine company that you're dealing with.
Yeah, we have actually 25 wineries using our software. If you're a wine drinker, you'll know Opus One, Hess Collection, maybe Hahn, and multi.
I'm a wine drinker, but I just go into the store and buy the cheapest stuff on the shelf. I really don't know what I'm buying.
In that case, you wouldn't know Opus One, which is more like $100 plus per bottle.
Yeah, because I always tell people I can't tell the difference between a $100 bottle of wine and a $5 bottle of wine. So I'm not a wine connoisseur, but go ahead, continue.
You've most likely been drinking some of the Mary Whales, which is also one of our customers.
Although people do tell me you'll notice it the next morning, though, when you wake up and you have a headache, because I guess the cheaper wines have some stuff in them that doesn't sit well with the digestive tract, and so the higher priced wines don't give you that type of hangover, so to speak. But that's just some of the things I've heard. But go ahead.
Unfortunately, I think our software is the last thing you think about next morning. But
right.
I think the wine customers are actually using our software in a very progressive way, because external data is so important for how you sell and where you promote your wine. So they take their inventory, mix it up with the U.S. Census Bureau information, and then they can see if a wine is moving very fast in a certain area, look for other demographic areas that fits the same criteria, and then basically go proactively and promote your wine there.
Now, who are you competing with in the States? What companies are out there doing this type of information collection and data dissemination? Who are your competitors out there?
Some of the competitors, if I talk about mega vendors, so the largest players in this space is competitors like Click, Cognos, MicroStrategy. But being that this is actually a very lucrative area and fairly new still, there's hundreds of competitors. So
right, I'm just trying to wrap my brain around it and stuff. So I'm trying to think of like what companies do this type of information collection, go into businesses and install software. And if you were to ask me before the show, I mean, who does this? I'd be like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Google probably does in some capacity, and we'll talk more about that on the second part of the show. But today, who is your ideal customer for listeners out there, the business owners? I mean, what type of customer are you looking for?
We appeal very well to the medium-sized businesses that has multiple departments, multiple branches, multiple locations, where it's very difficult to get an overview. And that's basically what we do. We give you an overview. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me take a quick break. But coming back from the break, I'm going to talk a little bit more with Ulrik Pedersen. He is the Chief Operating Officer for Target, and that's Target with an I. You can learn more about them at target.com. And coming back from the break, I want to talk with him about how IT is transforming industries, and we'll be talking about some examples like Uber and Lyft and things like that, the disruptive technologies that we've discussed a few times on my show as well. You're currently listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage. Help promote the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 WINS WHNZ to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where he promotes what is right with our community and highlights the successes of our entrepreneurs. Show contributor openings also available. You can learn more about the show and how to become part of this growing network at TampaBayRadio.com. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
Have you considered a reverse mortgage as part of your retirement financial plan? For homeowners age 62 or older, a reverse mortgage from Access Reverse Mortgage is a safe, economical way to turn your home's equity into cash or monthly income. Access Reverse Mortgage is a family-owned company based right here in the Tampa Bay area for the past 10 years. They are A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau and Florida's leading reverse mortgage provider. Call 727-347-0305 or go to accessreverse.com to start your research today. NMLS number 4566. That's 727 866-347-0305.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
Traffic slow in all the usual spots in Tampa on the interstates, north and southbound 275 through downtown Tampa. Also westbound I-4 slow from Thonotassa to Branch Forbes, and then on the brakes from Selma Crosstown to around 275. Over in Pinellas County, reports of a couple accidents along Tampa Road, one near East Lake and also possibly one near US 19, delays through there. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Stand Up to Cancer.
I'm Tony Goldwyn. 20 years ago, when my mom had lung cancer, she didn't have many choices. But today, you do. If you've been diagnosed with lung cancer, please visit standuptocancer.org/lungcancer to learn more.
Today, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high 92. Tonight, mostly clear, low 77. Tomorrow, a 30% rain chance, high 92.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back to the show, everybody, and thanks for staying tuned in to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Each weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, a show with different business owners, entrepreneurs, and political and community leaders each and every morning. And as always, learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Currently talk with Ulrik Pedersen. He is the Chief Operating Officer for Target, and that's Target with an I. So you can learn more about them and their software over at Target.com. And Ulrik, information technology, I mean, it's really changing the industries out there. You know, we hear so much about Uber and Lyft. What is on the horizon, in the, industries, with regard to your technology and stuff like that you're using? I mean, how's it going to transform the industries, coming up?
And I think you're exactly right that at MIT they're talking about we're on the verge of the second machine age, where if you go back to the first machine age, it was basically when you got electricity and power came around and transformed the whole production.
But it's really creating what I was trying to get at. It's creating just such a disruption to business, like Uber and Lyft. I mean, it's turned the taxi industry on its head just because of its ability to pull information into a phone like that right there. I mean, the more I guess the easier you can get your information onto a mobile device, the more successful that your company is going to be these days. What would you say to that point?
Yes, I believe that definitely, and I think that's why becoming data-driven is so important, because you leave trails of data and you're connected at all times to the internet today with more and more devices. So getting sense and compete using that information you can gather from those data points is extremely important. If I take an example from another one of our customers is Dublin Airport, are using Target and analytics very progressively as well. And if you accept, for instance, the wireless Wi-Fi when you're airport, you also accept that you always give away your location within the airport.
Right.
So they can see how people are moving in real time through the airport, use that to optimize the retail space revenue. So they can say, okay, if this is the kind of traffic you're interested in, you get it in that exact corner. We know that because people are accepting, of course, the Wi-Fi and then giving away their location.
Does your platform work on mobile devices? Is there an app that people can download, or how does the program work right now?
It does, yes. And if I should throw an ad in here, then
good.
Just download Target Touch and you'll be able to.
Okay, so mention that absolutely. So you have an app called Target Touch?
Exactly. Okay,
and that's available. Is that in iOS and for Android devices too, or does it just work on one platform?
It works on all the three major platforms, yes.
Okay, and so how can anybody utilize this app right now, or do you have to come in and work with the business owner, and like I said, you install this software on their platform? So how does the average business owner use this app?
Yeah, so if you just download it, you'll get some sample data, and you'd actually have to download the Windows client in order to be able to drag and drop your own analysis spreadsheets or Excel spreadsheets into to analyze that and see it in a mobile device.
And is the app, in this platform, a lot of people have a lot of different information on these spreadsheets, and so is there any type of tutorial, so to speak, and saying, all right, you need to set your spreadsheet up like this or like that? How intelligent is the app in your platforms?
And there's e-learning available, yes. I talked to before, then you can simply drag and drop an Excel spreadsheet in. But in order to really get the full power out of the software, you might want to sign up for a one-day class.
A one-day class, and what is that, an online tutorial, or is that something that you do, in a building somewhere?
It's online, it's virtual. It's also up on Heims and
that's where your location is. Okay, talk to me now. You came over from Denmark, right? I mean, tell me. I like to learn a little bit about culture and stuff. What's the difference between the business culture in Denmark versus the States that you have seen?
I think the biggest difference is probably we have a saying in Denmark, responsibility under freedom. I don't think it translates well to the US, but that's kind of how we operate in Denmark, where everybody has a lot of freedom to make their own decisions.
Mm-hmm.
In the US, you have more of a hierarchical structure, and there's a set number of rules you need to abide to, or you can operate within. So that's definitely one of the differences. It's been a little hard for me to adapt to, and
right.
I found out I have to hire people that can basically do everything on their own. I'm not a very good micromanager, so that's one of the...
You expect people to do their jobs, right? Yeah, you don't want to have to come behind them then, so to speak, correct?
Yeah, and I would say also for people coming into the company, it takes a little bit of learning to understand that, well, I'm actually empowered to make this decision on my own, as I find best fit in the occasion.
Well, you're obviously a very independent-driven person. I was reading your bio. You're an Ironman triathlete, and you were in the military overseas in Denmark as well, correct?
Yes, I was before.
So what got you over to the States? Was it this company specifically?
It was.
Did you know you wanted to come to the United States, or how did all that come to transpire?
And they actually had to push me a few times. I think 2003 was the first time around they tried to get me over here, and in 2006, I finally gave in. So it's been good. I've never looked back since.
What has been the biggest challenge? Now, I was reading a little bit more about you. I mean, the U.S. is your fastest growing market for this platform. I mean, it's increased sales like 40% for the company or something. Was it? What has been your biggest challenge in acclimating to American business culture?
I don't think there's been a really big challenge in that regard. You can say it's been more, of course, I miss my family, my brothers back in Denmark. But as far as business goes, I think if you're a diligent business person in Denmark, you can also do it over here.
Okay, so it transferred over to the States without too much difficulty in the culture and just learning the different. What about like all the social media and things like that? There's so many different ways to communicate. Is Denmark very up with social media and using that in business life every day?
And that's what I like about being over here, that has been much more faster adopted in the US compared to Denmark. Quite frankly, no one takes Twitter seriously in Denmark.
And some people over here don't either. So
that's true, but it's definitely a big outlet here in the U.S.
Right. And business, I think business moves faster in the States than overseas myself, but again, I'm not speaking from experience. Talk to me about that. Is that an accurate statement? Is it slower overseas versus the demands in America?
Yeah, that's actually a very funny observation, because I have the same feeling. U.S. moves very fast initially, but then I see that in Scandinavia, you keep kind of improving the systems, whereas over here there's more the philosophy that if it works, there's no need to fix it.
Right.
So there's a little bit of differences there.
Got to wrap up the interview, but again, Ulrik Pedersen, Chief Operating Officer with Target. Great discussion. That's Target with an I. You can learn more about them at target.com. Real quick, though, you can put out there you're hiring for new sales associates and consultants, right?
Well, yes, we are definitely hiring. We are hiring in 3 positions: sales, consulting, and...
All right. Well, if you're in the sales business or looking for a new position, reach out to Ulrik, and you can get him at up@target.com and learn more. Again, target.com, Target with an I. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products: hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We take very seriously our obligations to our clients, many who come to us in their most desperate hour. Our mission is you, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Accident along southbound 275 in downtown Tampa. It's right near Ashley. Off to the left-hand side, that is slowing things down through that area. Also, westbound I-4 slow from the Selma connector to 275. Crash on Adamo Drive at 50th Street. Over in Pinellas County, seeing some slow traffic along Almerton between 49th Street and Roosevelt. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uderick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line at 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Preparation H.
Get effective relief from the burning and itching of hemorrhoids with Preparation H medicated wipes for women. Created by the #1 doctor-recommended OTC brand, Preparation H medicated wipes for women are infused with refreshing cucumber, chamomile, and aloe. Use as directed.
Here's today's forecast. A 30% chance of rain going up to 92. Clear skies tonight heading down to 77. Tomorrow a 30% rain chance with 92 for the high. 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Again, you'll find this show on here weekday mornings at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, and you can learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, the show is available on demand all over the sites across the internet. Of course, Tampa Bay Radio, we put the site or the shows up, both the podcast and the streamcast via the show info tab. Get those up usually within 24 to 48 hours after the show, and also you can watch all the shows streamed live here in studio. There is a button on the home page of Tampa Bay Radio. It says watch live stream, so if you click on that, you can see the action live in studio. If you're sitting in an office place as well, you don't have to necessarily have a radio. Also put the show on iTunes as a podcast. Just search for That Business Show over there, and also on my YouTube channel and SoundCloud as well. The shows are available on demand. Time to bring on my second guest for the show. Barry Carroll is a Google trusted photographer photographing 360-degree virtual tours inside businesses, and is the first to bring the technology to real estate in Tampa Bay. He is the president of Exclaimit, which operates Exclaimit360.com and View360realestate.com as well. Barry, welcome to the show today.
Well, thanks for having me.
So first off, Barry, tell me what it is to be a Google trusted photographer. What does that mean exactly?
Well, Google has selected about 8 or 9 people in the market. And what we are, we've gone through training, and what we do is create 360-degree virtual tours, not unlike Street View on that we've all used in Google Mapping. This actually is the same thing, but it's inside of a business. And we go through a certification process, and there's, like I said, about 8 of us in the market that do this for Google Maps.
How did this opportunity come about for you? You were a photographer doing just general virtual tours, am I taking it?
Well, actually, I've been a marketing strategist for many years. Okay. And I worked with Google, helped a lot of clients get onto Google, and I guess Google must have taken note of that. It's a funny story. I mean, they sent me an email in October, and I must have said yes to something I really didn't realize what I was looking at.
Just one of the many emails we get.
Right, exactly. And I didn't even look at that email account for about another 6 weeks. And by then, I looked at that, and I had probably 15 different emails. Google had been emailing me, the last one saying, if you don't respond within 5 days, we're never going to consider you. And I thought, what in the world is this? And so what I did was I looked into it, and what I had signed up for was to go through the training for this process of doing these 360 virtual tours for Google Maps. Went through the process and became certified.
So this, I'm thinking, when I was initially just reading your bio, I'm thinking, okay, this is just Street View stuff, but this is actually inside buildings. So we're getting, I guess you can go on to Google now and you can see the insides of different businesses before you get to them, correct? That's what's going on here?
That's correct. We know Street View, and it's the exact same thing. Interestingly, probably the 3 biggest groups that have gravitated to it first is you've got restaurants, of course, because restaurants want to show what they have. Dental offices and hair places, believe it or not, salons. And I guess because people want to know what it looks like before you go in there, so those businesses are very much attuned to that.
And so you go into the businesses, you snap a number of still shots. Correct. It's not video, right?
No.
It's not video, and then the program pieces it all together for a virtual tour, and it's a 360-degree virtual tour, up, down, left, right, the whole shebang.
Correct, yeah. We take a north, south, east, west photograph. Those are stitched together through the Google software. It's a very smooth system. And then it's posted immediately as we always tell people within 2 to 10 days of me being out there photographing, it goes up on Google Maps and is also placed on their Google Plus page.
Yeah, talk to me more about Google Plus. You're telling me that, when I think of Google Plus, I think of it as just another Facebook program, another social media application. But you're saying that's really not what it's there for. So talk to us about this.
Right. A complete misunderstanding, I think. I would say 90% of businesses do not understand it. When it came out in 2011, a lot of people just believed it was just a Facebook wannabe, and a poor one at that. But it's not. I believe it's a Trojan horse, and it's a Trojan horse for business. What it allows is, if you want social, you want to get out into a lot of people, well, that's Facebook. But if you want to be found in search, this is a primary channel. And the way I explain it, I just have a question that I ask everyone, and that is, if you are a legitimate business, but if there was somebody fraudulent wanting to do the same thing you're doing, how would Google know the difference?
It wouldn't, yeah.
Right. It's by the information we supply Google computers to know who we are. And that supply comes in text, that post that we put into Google Plus, 25 to 50 words. It might be a video, it might be a chart. But over time, as we're communicating this information and education about what we provide, that goes up on Google, goes into the Google Plus account, it immediately becomes part of Google search. The magical thing about it is also, if you can get people to follow you on Google Plus, you have the opportunity when you post, you can click a box and it immediately is emailed out to everyone, and they won't miss your post.
So Google Plus is where a business owner needs to be to get found into Google versus the other social media sites. They really need to focus in on Google Plus.
Absolutely. Google Plus and reviews. And this is all free. That's the magical thing, or the great thing for small businesses, especially small businesses who don't have a lot of marketing money. Simply educate the computers of Google by posting in your Google Plus account. Get a few reviews every month, and you'll go up in the rankings.
What type of stuff should business owners then be putting in Google Plus? Just ads and things like the SEO type of a mentality where you type in, this to appear in this search engine. I mean, or video, photos. I mean,
what I recommend is, if you're going to do text, don't make it promotional. Make it educational and informational. That's how most of us like to be sold anyway. We want to know about something, and if we don't know a business, then this is how it's done. And Google, most people don't think about it, but Google's in business just like all of us to provide a great resource to whoever's using the search. When we search for something, we want a good result. If we get a bad result, what do we say? We say, why did Google send me there? Mm-hmm. And those days are pretty much over. That happened in the early days, if you remember. So Google is wanting, when somebody searches for something, Google wants to supply that person the right information, and Google is going through their computers finding that. And if we're a business and we're not participating in that informational flow, how can they send them to us?
Yeah, I'm going to have to look more into Google Plus, because up until today when I was talking to you, I just thought it was like a Facebook, and Google's got their hands into so many different things. I didn't think anything much more of it. So, but you're saying that this definitely is a platform that business owners need to heed, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Every business. And what I find is I search for businesses in Google Plus, and I'll see this rainbow cover, and I know that's a signal they don't know. They don't use it. I'm not going to name the business, but last week I found a business that had 1 million hits on their Google Plus page, and they had the rainbow, and they didn't have any information on their Google Plus page. I mean, that's like having 1 million people come to your door, and you're saying, oh, we don't need you. I mean, it was stunning to me. But that's the case throughout the whole Tampa Bay area.
Wow. So, I mean, you're a Google trusted photographer, and do you also do virtual tours for real estate professionals such as myself? What else keeps you busy?
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting. Once I was certified for Google and I'm out there photographing all kinds of different types of businesses, people kept asking me, hey, can you do this for real estate? And I'd say, well, Google doesn't do real estate. At least not yet. And people asked me to do it at parties. And so what I did was I looked into seeing about, could I do this myself on the side for real estate? I was able to test it and figure it out. And today I am doing that, and it was the first in the market to do that.
Yeah, so, I mean, I know with real estate, we get these free virtual tours. They're pretty much readily available. They're just some still shots kind of stitched together. But this technology is different because it provides a 360-degree view of the property, right?
That is correct. The virtual tours in the real estate world, to me, is more like a PowerPoint slide presentation. Sometimes the music's added, sometimes they move in and out, this kind of thing. What we're talking about here is just like Street View on Google Maps. It's called Business View inside the business. And in real estate, it's the exact same thing, where you actually can see the ceiling, you can see the floors, you can completely turn around. And the bigger issue is it's interactive mentally. Video, we all kind of check out when we watch video. But with this, you're actually clicking, go, I want to go into this room. Now I want to turn around, I want to go into this room. It's a completely different technology and mental exercise.
I think it's important to note that virtual tours are not just a real estate product. I mean, people say virtual tours, the mind immediately goes on to real estate listings, but you use this application in a number of other different arenas too. Talk to me a little bit about the different applications.
Oh, just everything imaginable. I photographed and we did a 360 tour for a manufacturing plant up in North Tampa just recently. They were part of the Tampa Bay fastest 50 or something like that. Just, I'm trying to think, all the different businesses. I've done children's areas. I've done, Pino's Palette would be one. They're a place where you can drink wine and paint.
Yeah, they're actually on my show. The St. Petersburg franchisee was actually on my show several months ago. An interesting little business there. Yeah, you can paint and drink and enjoy some light hors d'oeuvres and stuff. But you're saying you do parties and boat owners. Anybody involved in rentals would want to utilize this.
Rentals is huge. Whether it's a rental apartment, I do a lot of apartment complexes. I was hired by an Arizona group to photograph their Florida luxury apartments. That's an ideal sales tool for marketing people because people can come in and look at it. It's great for people to do as well. They can do it from the comfort of their own home.
So what's the future of these 360-degree virtual tours inside businesses? Do you think, because until today I didn't even know this was going on, that Google was organizing or collecting different businesses and things like that. Are we going to have all these panoramics of all these different buildings here in the future like we have of the streets?
I really think so. I think there's actually going to be a tsunami wave of this over the next 1 to 3 years. I think this will be so common. I think it'll be, because everybody that I've talked to, and I've researched a lot of people who buy real estate, they want this technology. If they can be empowered to look in their own home at, let's say, 10 homes, and they can walk through all of those homes and see every little detail, it helps them narrow it down. And also it helps the realtor, because the realtor doesn't have to go out on a Saturday all day with somebody and take them all to all kinds of houses. They can do this now online.
I think I see value in it in just these large commercial skyscrapers, getting into, if we were able to get the outline of those buildings, onto a platform on the internet where you can, because you go inside these buildings for a business meeting, you get lost. And if you're going to, and as a matter of fact, I make some like dry runs if I go into a building I'm not familiar with.
Exactly.
The parking and then what floor, and some of these buildings are very, very confusing. So I definitely see an opportunity right there for everyday uses. I don't know if that's going to ever be used for that, but that's what I see.
Other ones, I met with an equity guy here recently, and what they were looking at, they own strip plazas and this sort of thing. They want to have it recorded so that when there's a storm or does some damage, and it has to be repaired, then they can show from what it was before and what it was afterwards.
Now, you got a tip here. What realtors don't want you to know, and I'm a realtor, so what is it that I don't want consumers to know with regard to virtual tours, but could save them time and money?
That time can be saved.
Yeah. How so? How so?
Again, kind of like what I was talking about before. Who likes to go out all day on a July hot summer day on the weekend looking at houses?
Yeah, no, not me.
And if you could do it,
I'm a realtor too.
Nobody likes that. But if you could look at those homes and walk through them online from the comfort in your pajamas in front of your computer at 11 o'clock at night, and then just call the real estate person and say, hey, I want to go see this house. I want to see it physically because I've seen pretty much what it is online. Now I want to see it physically. I think it would save everybody a lot of time. For realtors, I think it gives them the ability to serve more people. Then second of all, with this virtual tour, you just expanded your market because you can send the virtual tour anywhere with a simple one-line code anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
it's great for international.
I've talked about how technology has definitely assisted the real estate industry. I mean, it's assisted it exponentially. But one huge way is the older realtors before, technology was in place. They had to search for homes. They had to put together a list of properties to show you, and then they took you out and they showed you the homes they wanted to show you. That's not the case today. The buyer brings the list of properties to the realtor. They say, I found this property. I found this property. So in a sense, it's made it easy on the realtor. It's taken the search component out of it, and now the realtor is pretty much just became a tour guide, so to speak. And so technology has definitely shifted.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, that happened in the automotive industry years ago. I mean, now they're pretty much order takers because people have done their research. I think that's where real estate is going, and maybe it's already there with
Yeah, realtors used to be considered the gateway to information with regard to the properties on the marketplace. Not anymore, not with technology the way it is today. And so many people predicted, though, early on that the value of the realtor was going to drop, but we have not seen that too much. It's still, there's a lot of value in a real estate professional. I don't want to get that, misplaced there, but it definitely has benefited the realtors in that you as the buyer now send me the properties and I just call the realtors and schedule the showings now.
Yeah, I mean, the transaction of real estate obviously needs a real estate person to help you guide you through that, and obviously they have the expertise. So, yeah.
Yeah, many other components to real estate, but I don't want to get off on too many tangents there. Got to take a quick break. Currently talk with Barry Carroll. He is a certified Google Maps photographer and also the president of exclaimit360.com. And, of course, you can learn more about him and his virtual tours at exclaimit360.com. You're currently listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
Have you considered a reverse mortgage as part of your retirement financial plan? For homeowners age 62 or older, a reverse mortgage from Access Reverse Mortgage is a safe, economical way to turn your home's equity into cash or monthly income. Access Reverse Mortgage is a family-owned company based right here in the Tampa Bay area for the past 10 years. They are A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and Florida's leading reverse mortgage provider. Call 727-347-0305 or go to accessreverse.com to start your research today. NMLS number 4566. That's 727-347-0305.
Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
Help promote the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 WINS WHNZ to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where he promotes what is right with our community and highlights the successes of our entrepreneurs. Show contributor openings also available. You can learn more about the show and how to become part of this growing network at TampaBayRadio.com. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Just a couple problems on the roads around Tampa Bay. Southbound 275 still very slow through downtown Tampa. That's all due to a crash that's off to the left-hand side. Of course, that's affecting westbound I-4 as well as you approach downtown. Linebaugh Avenue at Anderson, crash being moved out of your way there. Also one at Adamo and 50th Street. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line at 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Lead Safe America. Does your child struggle to concentrate and pay attention? What looks like ADD or autism may actually be caused by lead poisoning. Lead is a neurotoxin. It can cause permanent brain damage. Find out how to protect your family. Go to leadsafeamerica.org.
Today, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high 92. Tonight, mostly clear, low 77. Tomorrow, a 30% rain chance, high 92.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Again, weekday mornings at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. Learn more about the show over at tampabayradio.com. Also, please connect with me on all the different social media sites, facebook.com/thatbusinessshow for all of the show updates and upcoming guests. Also, please follow me over on Twitter, Jamie_Maloney. Currently talking to Barry Carroll. He is a certified Google Maps photographer and president of exclaimit360.com, of which you can learn more information about him and his tours at exclaimit360.com. And Barry, we talked a lot in that first segment, or somewhat I should say, about the value of Google Plus for business owners, and you being a certified Google Maps photographer, the ins and outs of Google, and the least with regard to the value to a business owner of getting on Google Plus and posting and how it can build up a business. But share some tips that you're talking about during the break for business owners with regard to Google Plus.
Yeah, really, there's a number of free resources that people have. The first one is a program that Google started about mid-April. It's called Get Your Business Online, and the website is gybo.com, getyourbusinessonline.com. This is a site you put in your business name. Up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little tab that says put your business in here. You put your business name in there, and Google will show you what they deliver when somebody searches on your business. And if the phone numbers are not there, the hours, the map's not correct, you can actually correct it right there on the spot in real time. Oh, you have to prove you're the business owner, though. So that's a key. But going back to the Google Plus and the value of that, and this is probably worth at least $1,000 to people right here. When you post something, what a lot of people don't understand is you use hashtags also in that post. Well, we all think of hashtags with Twitter, and it was about 5 weeks ago that Google and Twitter agreed that they're going to be working together on the hashtags on Twitter for Google search. I personally believe they're trying to isolate Facebook here a little bit. But the bottom line is, when you're putting the hashtags, as you put those in, Google will fill in the blanks if it's in their system already. And that's important. So you're going to hashtag, Yeah,
I used to hashtag That Business Show with social media posts. And I think all business owners who use social media need to have these hashtag campaigns. So they need to develop a few and just start using them, right from the get-go. But go ahead.
Right. And so that's a key. So then when people are posting and they're putting these hashtags, they say, well, what hashtag should I use? Well, here's another website that's very valuable. It's google.com/trends. Google.com/trends. Now, what this is pure entertainment. This will show you in the last 24 hours what people are searching on. And every day it's different. Now, and you can spend a lot of time just entertaining yourself by looking at this.
Right. It's usually some, pop star or Kim Kardashian, but go ahead.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Donald Trump these days, so go ahead.
Right. They always show political things on there, too. Yeah. But up at the top, there's a search box, a Google search box. And what I tell people to do is put your business in there. Put the terms that people will look for you at. So maybe radio for you or business radio. And then it will provide you the results over the past 10 years, the trends of how people are searching on those terms. But the most important thing is go all the way down to the bottom and to the right. It will show you terms that people are searching on that Google returns back what you put in your search box. And so the idea is those are your hashtags right there. If you use those, people are using those phrases.
So you're saying to change up the hashtags then?
Absolutely.
I was under the belief that I should pick a hashtag and just use it and relentlessly, but you're saying mix them up.
Well, sometimes there's going to be a certain number of your hashtags that will be always the same. Your location, if you're a business, near your location. And then finally, there's another tip that everyone should know, that if you can get people to follow you on Google+, then you have the ability when you do a post to email that post out to every one of your followers. That's like free direct mail.
And how has Google Plus benefited your business? Is this something that you spend a lot of time developing your virtual tour business through?
I have begun to do that by getting reviews. My goal is to get 2 reviews a week. I just started that a month ago. If you search for Exclaim It, you'll see some reviews of the things I've done for people. It's also kind of a story of what I'm talking about here today, that helping businesses understand the value of this. Once people understand it, they go, oh my gosh, how come I haven't been doing this?
Now, before you started with Google, and you started with Google, about a year ago as a photographer?
Correct.
Right? Were you familiar of the value of Google Plus at that time?
Yeah, I've probably been working with, I was an early adopter into Google back in the early 2000s. I actually helped. I was a marketing consultant primarily with dental and medical professionals, and I would help them get into the Google system. I called it the social metroplex of social media, video, content, and e-commerce. And that's how I think I got Google's attention.
Well, interesting points right there. Let's gybo.com, get your business online. I think that's a great tool right there. I'm going to put all these up on the show recap as well. And what was google.com/trends? And was there another one? You mentioned 3 tips there, but are those the 2 websites?
Yeah, those are the 2 most important. Business should spend like a 15 minutes to a half hour. By the way, on that gybo.com place, there's a tab there that's called resources. If you go to that, you can get a free website for a year. And this is, again, within the Google system. I did it. Mine's called exclameitnow.com. I did it just because it's free, and I wanted to see what would happen. They made a website for me in 30 minutes. And I talked to a doctor the other day. He actually did it over the weekend. Now, it's free. Now, the second year, they are going to charge you, but they're only going to charge you $5 a month to host it. So this is pretty cheap. I recommend everybody should do that as well.
Some great information. And as always, I learn something on each and every one of my shows. And Barry, great information, man. I got a lot out of the talk and everything, and I'm going to put some of it to use immediately when I get back to the office.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And that's Barry Carroll, certified Google Maps photographer and president of exclameit360.com. And you can learn more about him and his virtual tours over at exclameit360.com. And you can reach out to him, 813-731-8718. Again, 813-731-8718 for all of your virtual tour needs, whether it's in business or real estate, whatever the case may be. Also, thank you to Ulrik Pedersen with Target on the first half of the show, Chief Operating Officer. Learn more about them at targetwithani.com. And it's back to work, and I hope everybody has a great Monday. I'll be back in here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. here on That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.